My brother always said I'd marry the wrong woman. Turns out he was right. Hey everyone, before we jump into today's video, I need your help. We've noticed the channel is losing some traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can support us. It's quick, free, and it helps us keep bringing you awesome content. Your support means the world. Let's keep this channel growing together. Thanks so much. Now let's start the video. What's up, Reddit? Never thought I'd be one of those guys posting their relationship drama online, but here we are. I'm going to lay out the whole show that's been my life these past few months. Buckle up. I'm Ethan, 34, male. I've been an electrician since I was 19. Started as an apprentice, made money, worked my way up to journeyman, then master electrician. 5 years ago, I started my own business. Nothing fancy, just me and 2 other guys wiring up houses and doing commercial jobs around town. I make decent money now, enough to be comfortable without being rich. Charlotte, 31, female, and I met at my buddy Mark's housewarming party 6 years ago. She was his girlfriend's friend from university. Not going to lie, the first thing I noticed was her hourglass figure, but what actually got me hooked was how she laughed at my dumb jokes. Like, genuinely laughing, not that fake polite giggle most girls do when they're just being nice. We hit it off right away. She was working at this marketing firm downtown, handling social media accounts for local businesses. Smart as hell. Always had something interesting to say, not like those boring dates where you're desperately trying to keep the conversation going. Our first date was at this dive bar that has the best wings in town. She showed up in jeans and a t-shirt. I knew right then I was in trouble. 3 years of dating, 3 years married. We built what I thought was a pretty decent life together. I was busting my ass getting my electrical business going, sometimes working 14-hour days, crawling through attics in the middle of summer or wiring new constructions in the freezing cold, but it was worth it. We bought a modest 3-bedroom in a decent neighborhood. Nothing fancy, but it was ours. Well, mostly mine since I put down most of the deposit, but whatever. In the beginning, Charlotte seemed to genuinely appreciate what I did. She'd have dinner ready when I got home from a long job, listen to me rant about the general contractor who nearly got himself electrocuted because he couldn't wait for me to kill the power. She'd brag to her friends about how her man could fix anything and used to wear my old work shirts to bed because they smelled like me. Never complained about my calloused hands or the fact that some days I came home so tired I'd fall asleep on the couch before dinner. Weekends were simple but good. We'd work on house projects together. She actually got pretty decent with a paintbrush and could hold her own with basic power tools. We'd have friends over for BBQs, binge-watch shows, try new restaurants. Normal couple stuff. Took a vacation once a year. Nothing extravagant, usually a beach somewhere within driving distance. But we had fun. But I'm going to be real. There were probably signs that things weren't as perfect as I thought. When you're grinding every day trying to build something, you don't always see what's right in front of your face. Honestly, I've never been the most observant guy when it comes to emotional stuff. My dad was old school, fix things, provide, protect. Talking about feelings wasn't exactly part of the training manual. Things were good for the first couple of years of marriage. We talked about kids but agreed to wait until my business was more stable and she got to a better position at her company. We had a decent little savings building up. I was landing bigger contracts, she got a promotion, everything was on track. Her family liked me well enough. Her dad appreciated that I worked with my hands and built something from nothing. Her mom was always a bit snooty, typical suburban woman who probably thought her daughter would have landed a doctor or lawyer, but I won her over by fixing everything in their house whenever we visited. Nothing builds goodwill with the in-laws like solving the plumbing problem that's been driving them nuts for months. My family loved her. My mom was just happy I found a girl who could put up with me. My dad thought she was a little too into social media and brand names, but he kept that to himself, mostly. My younger brother thought she was hot, the little shit, but respected our relationship. We had a good group of friends too, a mix of my construction buddies and her marketing coworkers. Regular game nights, summer cookouts, fantasy football league that got way too competitive. Normal. A good life. If you'd asked me then, I would have said we were solid. Not perfect. We had the normal fights about dumb stuff like dishes in the sink or me tracking mud into the house. She'd get annoyed when I'd forget some event with her friends. I'd get irritated when she'd spend too much money on clothes or makeup. But nothing major. No red flags. At least none that I saw. Man, typing all this out is like watching the beginning of a horror movie where everything seems fine, but you know the serial killer is about to jump out. Except in my case, the monster was wearing Victoria's Secret and sleeping next to me every night. The first sign something was changing? Probably about 8 months ago. That's when Charlotte started talking more and more about this new guy at work. James? James with his MBA from some fancy school. James with his amazing ideas for the company. James, who was going places. Should have paid more attention when my wife couldn't go 5 minutes without mentioning another dude's name. But like I said, I was focused on growing my business, landing contracts, managing my small team. Didn't realize I should have been focusing on what was happening right under my own roof. In this country, she'd been in such a hurry to bail that she'd completely forgotten the basics. Stupid. I picked up my phone to text her about it but stopped. Richard's advice came back to me. Don't engage. Don't engage until we have everything in order. Let her make the first mistakes instead. I called my dad, explained the situation. He came over quickly and we sat on the deck talking while I transferred half our savings to a new account in my name only, leaving her half in the joint account. I'm not a thief, but I'm not a sucker either. Dad stayed over that night. Good thing too, because around 3 a.m. my phone started blowing up. Text after text from Jessica. Just realized I left some important things. Can we arrange a time for me to pick them up? Ethan, please respond. This is childish. They're my documents. I need my passport for a new job opportunity. I shut off my phone and went back to sleep. Let her sit with her poor planning for a while. The next day felt weirdly normal. I went to work, wired a new construction site, made small talk with my crew. Nobody knew my life had just imploded. And I didn't feel like sharing. At lunch I checked my phone. 27 missed calls. Voicemails ranged from sugary sweet to threatening legal action. Mike had even called twice, trying to sound all authoritative about personal property law. I texted Jessica once. All communication through lawyers from now on. Then I blocked both their numbers and finished my sandwich. The knock at the door. 48 hours after Jessica's great escape, I was in the garage reorganizing my tools. It's therapeutic. That's when I heard pounding on the front door. I checked my new security app. There she was, looking considerably less put together than when she left. I laughed my ass off and took my sweet time answering. When I finally opened the door, she was standing there, mascara smeared, hair a mess, wearing what looked like yesterday's clothes. You changed the locks. First words out of her mouth. All indignant, like I was the one who did something wrong. Yep. I didn't invite her in. Just stood in the doorway. I need my things, Ethan. My documents. I can't do anything without them. Should have thought about that before you cleared out while I was working. Her face did this thing, trying to look sad but also trying to look attractive while looking sad. It used to work on me. Not anymore. Can I please come in and get my passport at least? I have a job interview tomorrow. Nope. All items will be exchanged through lawyers. I've already contacted mine. That's when she switched tactics. She started crying. Shoulders shaking. The works. Please. I made a mistake. Mike isn't, things aren't what I thought. I just need my documents. Not my problem. Her voice rose. Desperation creeping in. You can't legally keep my identification documents. Actually, I can. I'll secure them until proper legal exchanges are arranged. They're safe. They'll be returned through appropriate channels. She tried to push past me into the house. I just stepped to the side, blocking the door with my arm. Jessica, you made your choice. You left. This isn't your home anymore. Her jaw clenched. It's my house too. My name is on the mortgage. Might want to check that again. The mortgage is in my name only. The house was purchased with my pre-marriage savings as the down payment. And since you abandoned the residence without notice, you've complicated your claim considerably. I have to thank Richard for that legal script. She didn't quite understand it, but she felt it. And then, the moment she realized I wasn't the pushover she thought. Where am I supposed to go? Her voice cracked. Mike's place is complicated. Trouble in paradise already? That was fast. I raised an eyebrow. Oh, what happened? She glared at me. His wife found out somehow and showed up at his apartment screaming. Had all these emails and videos. She narrowed her eyes. Did you have something to do with that? I just shrugged. Sounds like karma to me. Her shoulders sagged. I have nowhere to go, Ethan. Let me stay here until I figure things out. Just for a few days. I'll sleep on the couch. No. Her eyes filled again. You're being cruel. Full waterworks. Cruel? I let out a short laugh. Cruel would be leaving someone with a note after 4 years of marriage. Cruel would be screwing your boss in our bed while I was working my ass off providing for us. Cruel would be planning to clean out our accounts once his bonus came through. Her eyes went wide. How did you? I know everything, Jessica. Every email. Every plan. Every complaint about my lack of ambition. Her face crumpled. Not for me. For herself. Her perfect exit strategy was falling apart. I'll have Richard contact your lawyer about the document exchange. You should go now. I closed the door. Through the security cam, I watched as she sat there, crying for another 20 minutes before finally calling her sister to pick her up. The final cut. That night, my phone lit up with a text from an unknown number. This isn't over. You had no right to ruin everything. I forwarded it to Richard with one comment. More evidence for the file. The next few weeks were busy. Work was booming. Landed a massive rewiring job for a new restaurant downtown. Kept my mind occupied. Jessica? Her life was imploding. The document exchange finally happened. Supervised by both our lawyers. She showed up looking rough. Dark circles under her eyes. Wearing clothes from 2 seasons ago. Guessed the fancy shopping sprees were over. She tried one last time. We need to talk privately, Ethan. Nothing to say that can't be said in front of the lawyers. She reached for my hand across the table. I made a horrible mistake. We could work through this. I moved my hand away. We're here to exchange documents. Not reconcile. Her lawyer finally had to tell her to stop. Then I found out, Mike's situation was even worse. His pregnant wife, Emma, had filed for divorce. With evidence of multiple affairs. Not just with Jessica. The company fired both of them. Mike was facing legal action for using business trips for his affairs. Jessica wore out her welcome at her sister's place after a week of crying and drama. She tried moving in with Mike. Lasted 3 days. Meanwhile, my life kept getting better. Met someone new at a job site. She laughs at my dumb jokes. Doesn't check her phone every 5 seconds when we're together. Crazy how you don't realize what you were missing until you finally have it. No regrets. This story isn't just about betrayal, it's about self-respect, boundaries, and the power of walking away. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Don't make excuses for their actions. Never let emotions blind you to reality. Love is important, but respect and loyalty matter more. Always protect what you've built. If someone is planning to leave, they've likely been planning for a while. Don't let yourself be blindsided. Karma works. You don't have to get revenge, just step back and watch the universe do its thing. Better things come when you let go of the wrong people. The right ones won't make you beg for loyalty. If this story resonated with you, let us know in the comments section. Have you ever faced a similar situation? How did you handle it? Drop your thoughts below. Like, share, and subscribe to support us and show your love. Your engagement helps us bring more powerful stories like this to light. Thanks for being part of our community.